Hello, my 7th grade folks. I have a nice and easy project for you this week, something 3D to mix up all that drawing that we've been doing, and something that you can complete in one day so that you can help focus on your finals week. So we are going to, today, make little origami cranes. So I have some of my textured ones here in various sizes, and then one made out of just printer paper, and then one that is itty bitty, made out of 1 by 1 inch paper. You can try that if you want. All the folds are the same. But it's important to know before we begin that we need a square piece of paper. Now, a piece of printer paper is 8.5 inches wide, and we need to make it 8.5 inches long. It's 11 inches. So if you measure on one side 8.5 inches, on the other side from the same side 8.5 inches, you'll get a square. You can also, if you like, fold down so this is a perfect triangle with it meeting at a point. You would crease this and then fold that back to match, and you would cut the folded line. But there's a lot more room for error here. So I suggest that you just take a ruler and you measure it out. But let's go ahead and get started. I have step-by-step instructions, so feel free to pause and go back. I am also going to post step-by-step instructions on the website for you so that you can follow along in case you get stuck or if the video is unclear. So don't forget to drop those into the Google Classroom Dropbox by Sunday at 6, and I will see you next week. Have a good week, boys and girls. Okay, so first we're going to start off here with our square piece of paper. Now, you can see that I've done a pattern on this. If you have done a pattern or if you have origami paper, you want to place the unpatterned side down on the table. That's how we're going to ensure that we're going to get the pattern where we want it. Now, our first step here, you see me taking that one corner and folding it to the next. What I'm doing is making a triangle, and I'm trying to get this as precise as possible. My paper is a little thicker. I'm using a cardstock, so you may see me running my nail along the seams here in order to really get that where it needs to be. You can still use that with white printer paper. It really helps make your folds a lot crisper. So I've gone ahead and I've unfolded that. Now, along the line that we've made, we're folding it the other way to make a triangle. And what we're really doing here is we're making sort of an X crease on this paper. So now that we have that folded in the shape of the X, we're going to go ahead and fold across. So really you're just taking this square of paper and you're folding that in half, getting that as even and perfect as you can. And here you just see me lining it up. I'm just being extra careful for the video here. I made this patterned paper also with just a silver colored Sharpie and some black printing paper, like a cardstock, that I bought at Walmart for $1.50. So if you have anything like that laying around, even markers, you could make your own patterned paper if you wanted to take a little extra time and make one of these. So I'm just repeating this fold on the other side. Okay, so we have all 4 of our first folds done, and I'm turning this like a diamond to face me. And what we're going to do is take the corner that I'm pointing at here and move it down to the corner that'll be facing you. So you're going to pinch that corner and just sort of pull it up toward you. It's almost like you're folding the paper in half. But right there where my fingers are, you'll notice that we have that crease from here going down, and we're going to fold back along that. And it's a little tricky to understand. You're going to end up with kind of like half of a cube here. But I'm just folding down the other side, and you'll see it wants to move in a certain way. And we're going to end up with a couple of flaps here, and then something that opens up only on one side. So you should have something like that. If not, go ahead, pause the video and redo or check the directions. So on the side with the flaps, I'm taking this and I'm folding it in onto the center line, and it's making a flat line across here, right there. So I'm taking it sort of from edge to edge, and I'm just folding it and going ahead and repeating that on all 4 sides, front and back. And with your paper, you'll definitely see there will be a crease line down the middle for you to bring that to and fold. It's a lot easier to see on white paper. So now that we have this lopsided diamond shape, you'll notice that there's a little triangle on the top. And we're just going to fold that down, flip it over, and then fold it again on the other side. And what we're doing here is we're making a crease for a fold that we're going to do next, and it just helps the paper fold a little easier. So you can go back and forth a couple of times, just make sure it doesn't rip. So I've opened those flaps up here back to the diamond that we had, and you see how those little flaps fold in. We're just reopening those. So I'm going to pinch with my finger there, the side that opens up, and just that one top layer I'm going to push open very slowly, and you'll notice that it wants to fold in. So if you can get your fingers in there, if you need help to like press that in there and get that to form a nice stretched out diamond shape, that's what you're looking for. And you'll notice that it's got a big opening right in the center there where that line is. So you're just going to flip that around and do that one more time for the other side. This would probably be one of the trickiest parts of folding our paper crane. So now you'll notice that we have two flaps that come down with that little triangle, and then what I like to call two little legs here. So we're taking the edge of the leg and we're folding that edge inward. Now we want the edge that I just touched there to go perfectly flat. So you'll notice that it isn't forming a straight line at the top anymore, which is good because that's not what we want. And these are going to become the head and the tail of the paper crane. And I'm repeating it on the other side. So what I've done is taken the legs and I've essentially just made them a little skinnier. And those two flaps there that I just pulled apart will become the wings. So this is what is called a squash fold. You're going to sort of open this up and just lift that leg that you've done. It's going to try and turn inside out, and you're going to want to let it. And you can angle that however you like, but you'll notice the crease that you made. If you align the leg folded up with that, you get a pretty good angle for the head and the tail of this project. And you can always go ahead and readjust this. Now I have a nice side and a sloppy side. A lot of times that will happen. So I'm going ahead and I'm just folding the head down. And then for the wings, we just take the wings at some point. You can show more of that little triangle or less of it, bigger or smaller wings. You're just folding that down. And there we have it. That is our completed origami paper crane. Don't forget to put everything in the Google Classroom, and I'll see you next week.